The swings creaked in the fading light of day as Emily sat alone at the old playground. She had always loved playing here when she was younger, but now it seemed deserted and eerie. Her friends had moved away to other neighborhoods, leaving her with nothing but memories. As she pushed herself higher on the swing, a chill ran down her spine. It started as a whisper in her ear, "Play one more time." The voice was soft and raspy, like an old record player playing a worn-out song. Emily spun around, searching for someone to talk to, but there was no one nearby. The voice grew louder, urging her on. She felt herself being pulled back onto the swing by some unseen force. Her heart racing, she pumped her legs harder, higher and higher until she reached the top of the chain. The wind whipped through her hair as she paused for a moment at the peak before letting go. Time seemed to slow down. As Emily descended into darkness, she realized that this was no ordinary playground. She had been playing on it all along, but in every other match, someone else's turn came first. And now, with one final swing left, her own game would be over forever. The voice whispered once more, "Play again." But there were no swings to push anymore, only the endless darkness of a never-ending cycle. Emily screamed silently as she was pulled back up into another round, trapped in an eternal loop of playtime and terror. The sun had long since set behind the playground equipment, casting an eerie orange glow over the deserted swings and slides. Emma sat alone at her favorite bench, staring blankly into space as she tried to shake off the feeling of unease that settled in the pit of her stomach. It was supposed to be a normal summer evening, but for some reason, everything felt different tonight. The wind whispered strange phrases through the trees, and the shadows seemed to writhe like living things on the ground. Emma's mind wandered back to the argument she had with her best friend, Olivia, earlier that day. They had been playing their favorite game of tag, but in a heated moment, they had both stormed off without saying goodbye. As the darkness deepened, Emma began to feel an unsettling presence lurking just beyond the edge of perception. She tried to focus on the sound of crickets chirping and the distant hum of her mother's voice calling out from across the street, but it was no use, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching her. Suddenly, a faint rustling echoed through the air as Emma heard footsteps approaching. Her heart racing with anticipation, she turned to see Olivia standing before her, her eyes black as coal and an unsettling grin spreading across her face. "You're it," Olivia whispered, her voice barely audible over the pounding of Emma's own heart. And in that moment, Emma realized that their game was far from over. For some reason, this time, she would be playing alone. The sun had long since set on the playground. The swings creaked in the gentle breeze, their chains swaying like skeletal fingers. Emma sat alone at a bench, her eyes fixed on the empty field beyond the monkey bars. She had always loved playing tag with her friends here, but tonight felt different. Tonight was supposed to be the last match of the summer break. The other kids were all gone home for vacation, and she was left behind. A shiver ran down her spine as she thought about facing the darkness alone on this deserted playground. As she sat there, a faint rustling sound came from the direction of the slide. Emma's heart skipped a beat as she turned to see one final player emerging from the shadows, an old, tattered ball that had been left behind for years. It rolled towards her with an unsettling slowness, its surface bearing strange symbols etched into it like scars. The ball came to rest at Emma's feet, and as she gazed down at it in horror, the rustling grew louder. Suddenly, a voice whispered in her ear, "You're not done yet." The words sent shivers coursing through her veins, and Emma realized that tonight was far from over for this abandoned playground. And neither were things going to be normal again.